Rise, 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 rise,
Rise,
rise, rise,
rise,
rise, rise, rise, rise,
rise,
rise, rise, rise, rise, rise, rise, rise, rise, rise, rise, rise, rise,
rise. And this is the podcast.
Awesome. This is better than almost. Yeah, this is probably our best intro we've ever done. Yeah.
All right, hey everybody out there. This is Graham and Ashkahn.
Yeah, Graham and Ashkahn here too.
And we got a special episode for you coming out today. We are here live in St. Louis at the Rise Float Gathering, and we have an especially special episode for you guys right now.
Yeah, because it's us again, as usual. You're gonna get even more of us.
Unexpected, but a surprising delight every time, I think. We're actually here with Jake and Kevin, the very
not
organizers. Not our Jake. Jacob, we'll call him for clarity's sake.
Jacob
And Kevin. Not our Kevin. We have a Kevin.
Yeah. So not our Kevin either.
Fur. So Jacob and Kevin Fur here. Float St.
Kevin
Louis.
Federer.
Kevin the
Federline.
Anyway, so they're the guys.
They're the dudes.
They're the men of the hour right
They're
now.
the dudes.
They're putting on Rise. They're the reasons we're here. Yeah.
The
They
reasons
made
I
us
wake up
wear
in the morning.
bathrobes.
Like, guys,
Yeah.
that's really. So, do you guys have a question? I thought we could just talk about what's going on right now.
Yeah, do you want to talk a little about Rise? Did you want to ask us anything?
My first question is...
First question. That's not usually how this works.
These are usually about 10 minutes long. Just want to keep that in mind.
It was about the bathrobes, but I mean maybe...
No, go. What's your first question?
So the first question just really was, are these your personal bathrobes, or were
Yes.
they specifically purposed for this event?
No, these are one of the number of bathrobes that we
I have
have.
about a dozen bathrobes, actually. No joke. Like, I'm big into rogue life, yeah. But this is also our normal podcast attire, so this feels very normal. Like, I can show you pictures on my phone of us wearing these robes doing podcasts back at home, yeah.
Because when it's audio, no one knows what we're
Yeah, no one
wearing.
knows what we're
Same
wearing.
pajamas underneath?
Yeah.
Or
I put on a special matching set of pajamas for this occasion.
I wear these pajama pants when podcasting. These are my podcast pajamas, yeah.
I thought this was more of like a formal pajamas sort of setting, and so
Well, it has
I wanted
the
to class
collar.
it up. It's got a collar. Yeah, it's very appropriate for the setting. I
So
believe.
thanks for the question. This has been a great episode.
Great, thanks so much.
Yeah,
very
yeah.
insightful.
Yeah, I get one.
Anyone has other
I get
questions?
one.
All right, you get a question.
oh, nice. I mean, I would,
Yeah.
since you have very nice lapels on your robes, what kind of brooch would you wear on them?
What kind of brooch would we wear on our robes?
Yeah.
So usually what I like to wear is
So here's what you do.
like a small kind of cup holder that I can hold like a beverage, and then I'll stick like a crazy straw onto that, and that way I kind of like a hands-free robe drinking experience as I'm lounging about. That's the brooch of my dreams. If you were talking about that.
So here's what you do. If you want the proper rope brooch, what you need to do, just go over to your float tank and unplug it right now. And then come back in the morning when all the salt crystals have crystallized and kind of just reach down there and cut off a little bit from the bottom. You got this nice little Epsom
very
salt
nice.
crystal flower eyes
Very
sort of
nice.
thing, yeah. And you just sort of, you put a clip on that somehow. I don't know, however people put clips on normal brooches, I guess. And then there you have like a nice, you have an Epsom salt crystal flower
This
thing.
is though. Have you ever had like salt crystals grow in your float tanks?
Not yet. I've
So
seen
you haven't
pictures.
screwed up as bad as we have.
yeah.
We've learned.
Give it a couple more
We've
years.
learned.
Something will go wrong.
Here's
I
the
promise.
problem.
Yeah.
Here's the problem with the salt brooch is it works very nice for the first little bit, but as soon as you hit sunlight,
Oh, it's indoor. It's an indoor
it's an
only
indoor
brooch. Yeah.
robe only
Yeah.
option. So you couldn't come to like an outdoor formal conference event like this wearing your salt brooch because the sunlight will actually slowly turn the salt crystal back into like a powdered form. This is real. This is real information. Just to point that out.
Yeah. Usually,
You really made a salt brooch before.
Okay, well, yeah, I know it's hard to tell fact from fiction sometimes, but it's true. The salt crystals, the Epsom salt crystals, will just powderize,
They'll
like
just
they'll
powder
totally
in the
decay in
sunlight.
sunlight.
I
If you
think
keep
it's
them
the
inside,
UV
they'll be
of the
fine
sun or something. I don't know
forever,
exactly.
yeah.
I'm gonna go ahead and say it's the UV of the sunlight, so it sounds like I know what I'm talking about. But for one reason or another, once they get exposed to sunlight, they start to just degrade and fall apart. So you might want to think about that when you design your robe salt brooches.
All right, so that was a great question. Thanks so much for coming on the episode.
Yay!
If any of you out here Now, what? Tell us about what's going on here.
Tell us about
we have
Rise.
questions for you. Listen, we have some questions for you guys.
Okay,
Yeah.
we're flipping it up.
Yeah, we're flipping it around.
Like,
here.
why
now we agreed.
aren't you wearing robes right now?
Yeah. So what?
I thought we had agreed. I thought we had like a thing going, and then it's kind of embarrassing when we show up in robes.
I was thinking about actually wearing a robe tomorrow.
Yeah, we have at least one other person who's also bringing
we're
the
trying to get a
tomorrow.
thing
We've
going.
mixed them, so
That might
yeah.
happen. For those of you thinking about just randomly showing up tomorrow in the future, when this is posted,
And if you're out there listening to
after
this,
the event,
hit
I might
pause.
be
Hit
wearing
pause
a
on your
robe.
episode
Listen
right
to this.
now,
Yeah.
and go put on a robe.
Yeah, we'll wait
And come
here.
back, and then you can hit play again. Yeah, we'll hang out.
we can
It's
all
cool.
wear the robes together. Yeah.
All right, now that you're back,
So tell us about. So this is the second year
This is the second year.
throwing Rise. So you did it once, and you decided you wanted to do it again. Huh? That's a bold.
We thought about it for a long time. There was definitely some heartfelt moments that said, yes, let's do this again. And then there was a lot of discussions that said, do you think that's really a good idea? You know?
yeah, I know what that's like. Yeah, it sounds very familiar.
There's like very high highs and the hugs and the laughs and the connection, and it's wonderful and it's amazing. And then it's also it's a very real serious bit of work that we're layering on top of the whole base is like let's put out good floats consistently on a daily basis to the people coming to our centers. So I think we're always aware of what's our capacity to do those things at the same time and really focus
And then you
on
blow
both.
right past that capacity. That's the
Yeah.
that's the way to do it, I think. That's our strategy, at least.
Yeah.
And then you wake up in the middle of the night, going, "Why am I doing this to myself?"
Yep, and it's like weeks after the conference is passed too. Yeah, the nightmares keep going.
I do have. I have.
Yeah.
Have you guys had conference nightmares?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I have like the 2 weeks leading into the Float conference. Literally, I would just like wake up in the middle of the night, being like, "No, what's going on? The microphones are fine." Like, oh, okay, it's cool. Everything's fine.
Particularly after the first year, because we didn't have like any AV or mics beforehand, and I was running around the Friday before, like to different stores trying to find mics to hook up to the system.
Yeah.
And I was like, I still got them in the back room. They're somewhere back there. They're gonna be there. Call Dorian.
And it's always kind of miraculous when everyone shows up.
Oh, yeah.
Like it's so weird spending so much time planning something in like complete isolation. You're just doing all this work and it's all for this one weekend. And you're just like, I hope, is anyone gonna come to this?
Yeah.
A little bit brings back like childhood memories of birthday parties where people aren't there 15 minutes early and you're just wondering, are the other kids coming to my
Did I
party?
get the giant like cowboy cake for nothing? Yeah.
So it is. It's nice. It's very rewarding when it actually gets to this point. And
Yeah.
you really. I think the other challenging thing is really figuring out what people might want or enjoy, and to get to the midway point and see people laughing and connecting and having fun. That feels like okay, we did something good and something right. And that's important.
And it's worth self-torture
It
to
is.
get that out there into the world. Yeah.
The idea of being so serious for the past 2 weeks, and then finally it's here. I mean, it's like, we don't have to be so serious anymore. It feels so good.
It is really funny to very seriously plan completely ridiculous things. There was a year at the Float conference we built like a literally like I think a half-scale float tank cake, and it was like a full operation. And I had to have like stressed out phone conversations. Was like, no, the Jello has to be clear so it looks like float tank water. It's just,
I mean, we had to like really seriously plan logistics to like ship our robes out here because they weren't going to fit in our luggage. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like,
and
this
we had to
is-
find a print shop to print those animal portraits like before coming out here, and like, get them in on time, go and pick them up, and it's
Animal
all
portraits
just
are
for these absurd things.
The animal portraits were key. I mean, that was.
And
then,
for
like,
those of you listening, our presentation didn't have actual PowerPoints. It just had 2x3 foot prints that were mounted of just animals lounging around. Which, by the way, the print shop did not even like crack a smile at when we went to pick them up. We're like, we're here for our presentation slides, and they're like, here they are.
Yeah, very
5
serious.
silly animals.
It happens once a week.
Yeah, another animal print. All right.
kangaroo leisurely laying in the sun. Yeah.
Yeah, but it's great. I mean, it's super fun to be here, and there really is, like, despite modern technology, there still is really just like nothing that comes close to in-person, face-to-face human interaction.
Yeah, you hear that podcast audience? Nothing. Listen out. You should have been here.
Like, you can listen to people on your phone. through
Yeah, all day
headphones.
long,
It's
it's
nothing.
just not
It's
the
nothing
same.
like
Yeah,
being with
yeah.
someone in real life.
What's the address usually that you do the podcast at?
the physical location.
Yeah.
We don't release that sort of
They can
information.
show up and actually be there with you.
That actually would be awesome. It's just that Jordan's house is all I don't know the name of the address or anything.
So Google Jordan's
Yeah,
house.
if you guys
It's
type in
Portland,
Jordan's house.
Oregon. Yeah. Probably.
Yeah, meet us there. It'll be great. We wear robes, so bring your robe.
Yeah, it'll look very
That's
similar
the
to
price of
anyone
admission.
seeing us here.
Get a show in a row.
Yeah, if you don't show up with a robe, we're gonna turn you away. Right?
And make an intro track. For the,
Yeah,
for the
bring an
podcast.
instrument,
Yeah.
perhaps a kazoo or something.
Yep. So what? You guys have another day
So
left.
we have a question from the. We have a one-man audience right now.
got a
Greg
call.
Griffin.
It's a phone
We're gonna go ahead and let him jump in.
So I've got a question. You guys are really interesting. I'm wondering, people
First
have asked
time
me.
caller, long time listener.
Yeah, I'm just a fan of you guys. So I've had people ask me, what's the difference between the Rise Gathering and the Float Conference in Portland? Which one should I go to? What's the difference?
Oh well,
That's a
the
good
Rise Conference has their shit together a lot more than.
yeah. These are guys who go on stage not wearing robes. So like, if you're looking for something a little more official, maybe
I would say
Rise
it's a
is-
masterful illusion, you know, not in any way, right?
I mean, it's the amazing thing is that like just gathering float tank people into a room is pretty much an incredible experience, almost regardless of any other context or details. And it's just kind of like whatever people plan on top of that just really like adds fuel to the whole experience. And it's cool. Like I mean, in terms of the differences between the event, like the float conference is bigger. It has a lot more people. And that's cool in a lot of ways. Like you get to meet people from other countries and really get a sense of like kind of a global scale of what's going on in the industry. But like there's also something lost with having that many people in an event. Like when we're here at Rise with like 100 something people here right now.
130.
Like it's like I get to actually interact with people on a one-on-one basis.
like almost everyone.
Yeah, everyone. I get to see
Yeah.
everyone. We get to have like actual conversations in a group setting. Like there's a certain benefit to having a small group like that at the point where we're at with the Float Conference, we just can't do anymore. Like it just literally is beyond the scope of what we can do logistically with that
Like,
many people.
and you guys can correct me if I'm wrong too. I'm pointing at the Rise guys right now, but like I feel like Rise is almost like a family reunion or something. You know, like it's all these centers who I've talked to before. I feel like it's more center owners than it is people just getting involved in the industry. And ours is like a lot like the Float Conference is a lot more of a split. And I feel like ours is more like the gathering of the clans or something like that. You know, it's like pulling kind of like everyone together from like very disparate places and putting them all in this like I don't know. Again, like it's maybe a little more impersonal. You still have the personal side of it, but yeah, like it feels more homey or something coming here, and then more from more from the heart or something like that too.
That's true. You guys focus. I think there's a difference in focus.
I was
too.
gonna let them talk next, but yeah, then we can just
No,
ping
this
pong
is
back
our
and forth.
podcast,
Yeah, that's right.
There's like our event's very much focused on, we have a lot of talks about research, we have a lot of talks about more kind of technical, tangible, hands-on stuff in the float industry. And I feel like you guys put a little bit more emphasis on the kind of like coming from the heart float facilitator, what you're trying to do in terms of like the emotional experience of running a float center, and almost more of like a philosophical kind of approach to the idea of running a float center and the idea of floating in general.
Right, even Justin Feinstein's not really going to be reporting on his research here, right? Like you dragged him out to do more of that emotional side of things.
Yeah.
We were curious more.
Well, calm
about
down there. Don't hide
Yeah.
the mic there, Kevin. Yeah.
Sorry, dude.
As I was saying, like,
No, I think we were curious to hear from Justin, the person, and this person who's engaged in this process of doing all this research and providing us with all the data, and what is his story, and what is it like for him to operate in that capacity?
Yeah.
And what I really enjoy about the Float Conference is I can receive it's the whole pulse of the industry, right? I get the whole wide view, and there's every aspect of it, and going there, there's all of that energy, and it's just like yes, like you can really feel the adoption, and you can see the growth, and it feels really exciting to just be in that room, and it's filled with people and the noise, and it's so wonderful, and I think here with Rise, I think for Jake and myself, it was. I mean, first of all, it was a gift that the Float Conference was already operating, because for us, we just want to focus on that little sliver, and it wouldn't even make sense to do that if there wasn't the Float Conference that was, like servicing the whole industry. To just come up with the sliver and then people are like, well, yeah, but what about all the rest of the stuff? you have to be touching on all of those aspects. So that's such a gift. But one of the things I think, like we have been with this little family of the centers that maybe are familiar and that sort of thing. And I think it would be also interesting to get some of those opening centers, which are harder to reach, but like starting to shape some minds and some philosophy earlier on about what that culture is like would be interesting going forward. But I don't know how to yet do that. That's part of the stressful period, because this is enough. This feels great, and if this happened the same way for the next 15 years, that's awesome.
Yeah, I mean it's cool. Like as soon as you start running some sort of event or you're choosing out speakers for a float event, you quickly realize that you could have about like 10 days of presentations. You're like, oh, well, this would be a cool talk, and that would be a cool talk, and then you're like, oh, I definitely can't fit all this in. No. And so it's really nice to see other events and things like that going on, to be able to have venues for there's so much nuance to floating. It's such a like deep topic with so many different aspects, from the hard science to the business and marketing practices of running it, to just the journey that people go on, both floating and running a float tank center, and being able to like approach the different angles of what life is like to be in the float industry is it's great. It's great to have a venue to like see those different sides of it.
And now we get to see each other, twice as often as we would have
That's right.
maybe even more so. So like
slowly creeping to a conference every weekend, I think, is the ultimate goal here.
just rotating.
Float Conference Fridays,
It would be great.
We're just road tripping.
Awesome.
Cool. Well, this
thanks.
is great.
Yep.
We love coming here.
Yeah,
you
it's a
guys are
blast.
awesome.
Yeah.
Seriously, you guys do an amazing job, and
an
we
honor.
definitely encourage everyone listening right now to totally come check out.
Yeah, just
Rise.
hop on a bus right now. Just
Yeah.
drive out to St. Louis.
Yeah, you got a few hours.
Camp
You'll make
out.
it for tomorrow.
The line for tickets for next year starts like today, so get here early.
Bring your tent.
I'm a random fan. I have no bias. I drove down here. It's amazing. You should definitely come if you already run a float center.
That was Dr. Greg Griffin over there.
Yeah, our one-man audience for this.
Bring your robe. Bring your robe.
Bring your robes. Okay, you heard it. You heard it straight from the organizers, everyone. Next year, come with robes.
Everyone will.
And for those of you who have your own questions, really, I guess just like come upstairs right now if you're at Rise and whisper into someone else's mic. That worked really well for Greg Griffin. So that's how you get your questions on this podcast.
All right, have a good one. We'll talk to you guys tomorrow.
Bye, everyone.